What is up? We are live. Oh my gosh, it's the live stream lounge. Hanging out with me is artist Phil Stone. And Phil Stone, of course, works on all kinds of really cool role-playing game properties, including, I don't know if you've ever heard of Magic, the Gathering, or Dungeons and Dragons. Oh my gosh, we have so much to chat about tonight. We're going to talk about how to break into publishing as an artist. Later on, we're going to talk about your incredible career and the incredible story. Well, it's just the journey, journey you have taken to get where you are.
Real quick though, Matt. So Phil, I just gotta say.
Well, first, hold on. Hold on. There's someone else we need to say hi to, and that is Mr. James Polony. It has been, oh my gosh, it's been like 2 months. James, say hello.
What's going on, you guys?
And dude, you got to tell us about this awesome contraption here. What is this all about?
Oh, okay. So I don't know. It's like a cyberpunk.
Yeah,
samurai.
A cyberpunk she.
Because I feel like the red and blue kind of goes with the shorts, matches the shoes.
Yeah.
I had blue aviators earlier, so I was color coordinated.
Nice. I love
Phil,
it.
I followed your stuff for a while and big fan. So I don't want to put you out or anything, but I just thought maybe it'd be kind of cool if you might sign some of the cards that I collected of yours.
Yeah, I think I was supposed to sign those last summer.
Yeah, and I left. And I said I have to. I want to be back.
So James, you got to show us what do you have? What do you actually have?
Oh, you got Nadar.
Yeah, I got Nadar, Selfless Paladin. Pretty much the entire Phil Stone.
Oh my gosh!
Run
Wild
from Adventures.
Oh, you did the Phyrexians? You do, son of a gun.
Got the Tyrannix.
What is that? A special coated?
So
it's like.
Those are rarer than rare.
It's like an onyx.
And it's black on foil.
And it's the type of foiling that has never been done.
Nope.
For TCG at all yet. And Phil got to do these two.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I have a silver Sharpie over there. If you probably need a silver for that one.
You do.
Right?
Yeah, especially the $75 card you want it to show up.
Oh my gosh. That is amazing. So Phil, while you're as soon as we get started and you're telling about your you're gonna have to sign some of these on the show tonight. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, that is amazing. That is awesome. That is so cool you brought those. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we are gonna get the party started. So we're gonna talk about publishing. We're gonna talk about the pros and cons of both traditional publishing, self-publishing, which one you might want to do, because there's pros and cons to both. And oh my gosh, we've got so much. We've got Aladdin stuff to talk about. I can't wait. I mean, you've storyboarded film. You've done all kinds of stuff. Oh my gosh, Cell Dweller. There is so much to talk about. I also have to know what this thing is hiding in your pocket here.
Oh, the Rip and Dip?
We're going to talk about that as well. What the Rip and Dip is.
Rip and Dip?
All right.
Skate shirt.
With that, I can't wait to get to your comments. Let's get the party started.
That was amazing.
Yeah. He was talking about my dancing. That was amazing. You guys never see what goes on during that
like
intro.
3 seconds.
I went silent
gosh.
for a minute.
So here's what's up. So you guys are watching the live stream lounge, and of course, so I've got some bookkeeping, housekeeping to take care of real quick.
Housekeeping.
The thank you videos are constantly going up. A new one went up today, in fact, and it was great because it went to Nathan Dumar, who is Christy Dumar's brother-in-law. And the crazy thing was, almost immediately after I put it up on the Aladdin 3477 website, he left a comment and said, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's the first time that I'm aware of that I've gotten a comment from the people that the videos are thanking."
What?
So I don't know if people that are the executive producer and the Aladdin's Inner Circle peeps that get these videos, I don't know if they're seeing them or not. If you're supposed to get one, they're not all up yet. but a bunch of them are, and they're on the Aladdin 3477 YouTube. Draw this in your own style is always going on. So if you are drawing any of the Aladdin characters, I want to see them. If you're cosplaying this cosplay season, I want to see. There's a really cool video that came out 2 weeks ago that is the Aladdin. Everyone's talking about the official collector's edition. Paul. In another universe, you're actually Paul Stone, not Phil
I've been
Stone.
called Paul many times.
Have you seen the official collector's edition?
Just only online, never in person.
Glossy, like
That's sexy as hell.
Isn't that?
Wait,
isn't
can we
that
swear
fun?
on this or no?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's sexy as fuck.
Look at this. Right, like these delicious layouts.
Who did the layout for that?
I did.
Fuck yeah, you did.
I had so much fun.
I bet.
Like just trying to make this as pretty as I could. That's this is Khmer. This is the official language in the Kingdom of Cambodia. It's a real language.
Yeah.
And that's Thai for Thailand.
Look at that.
So this is like all the behind the scenes.
That's cool as hell, man.
Stunts, the visual effects around the world, Star Wars celebrate. Look at that, James signing. So here's James signing, but tonight you're going to be signing for James.
There's also me being hit.
There's another thing we need to talk about, James, because I don't know if we'll have time to do it tonight.
Find all instances of me in there. We will not have time.
Well, here's the thing. You told me, you're like, yeah, I took a look and I'm in there 13 times. And I thought to myself, I would think there's probably more. So I just took a quick gander and I found images of James and the characters he portrays 18 times.
I looked at that thing 5 times.
You miscounted. We're going to see if we can find all 18 at some point. Anyway, I had a lot of fun putting this together. So here's the cool thing. There's this video. It's a commentary that goes through digitally the pages, like it's digital. Pages, and it zooms in on things, and it's almost like a DVD or a Blu-ray commentary.
Wait, here's the $10,000 question though. Did you put the little bing in there?
When it turns the page? I should have. I'll have to re-record it and just have you hanging out with me, and I just nudge you each time and have you do it. Anyway, last week I dropped a new vid that's actually getting some good organic. This is just kind of a quick throw. It's not throwaway, but I did a print showing what would happen if Indiana Jones and Darth Vader got in a fight. And this is growing organically. I think it might have like 1,000 views right now. And it's just everyone wants to know who would win. I mean, it's pretty obvious who would win.
No, I was
the guy who uses the Force.
You'll have to watch the video. The video shows the proof in the pudding. You'll have to
I
check
feel
that
like
out
Indiana
to
Jones
see.
would have an artifact to
I
defend.
didn't think about that.
Defend it from the Force.
I mean, he's really resourceful, but I guess if he's got the Ark of the Covenant with him,
yeah, all he does. Hey, look,
change this. Right?
And you melted.
That's good.
Yeah, I've been rooting for Indy the whole time when I saw that.
Crazy. And then real quick, this semester, Macomb Community College classes start 2 weeks from tomorrow. And for Media and Communication Arts, we are in a brand new, renovated, state-of-the-art building. I cannot wait. I actually showed some images a month or so ago, and I got the slap on the wrist because I wasn't supposed to yet. Because the governor,
that video was awesome.
Well, the governor's coming through in 5 days.
Okay.
There's like a big open house on Friday, so no one was supposed to see what it looks like yet. So I'll be sharing some videos, something like that. But anyway, we are here hanging out with Mr. Phil Stone.
I forgot the pipe. The picture promised a pipe, and I didn't. I didn't bring the pipe.
We're gonna look at. I have a fake one.
I don't know if you want me chewing on that thing.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna chew on it. You may have seen him. I did some quick searches on you and stuff, and there's really cool Magic the Gathering interviews on YouTube. If you want to find more info on Phil, this blew my mind, and maybe we can kind of start getting into your career, but. This is a self-portrait.
Yeah, but you know what that's from, though? I totally swiped that idea.
Having yourself surrounded by monsters?
Well, there was a monster being surrounded by monsters. Do you remember Monster Magazine?
Yeah.
Okay. In the 80s, one of the famous covers of #1 of Monster Magazine was Frankenstein reading a monster magazine with the other famous monsters behind him, looking over his shoulder. So actually, the jacket I'm wearing is Doyle's jacket from the Misfits. And I'm reading a monster magazine.
Yeah.
And then Jerry Only is standing behind me.
Okay.
From the Misfits.
Oh, I was wondering if that was you. I'm like,
but no, I made him into a ghoul. But yeah, the whole thing was called Ghouls Night Out from the Misfits song.
Love it. We got some comments already. Brittany Voigt says, "Welcome back, James." And Kurt Penrose on Facebook says he doesn't have the Ark of the Covenant. It's being guarded.
That's right.
It's being
Top
guarded
men.
by top men. Yeah,
Top
unfortunately,
men.
he wouldn't have that yet.
He knows where it's at.
At the drop of a hat, he wouldn't have that for sure. That is great. But what a cool self portrait. And looking at this and really looking at any of your art, I probably don't even have to ask. Not that your work looks anything like his, but your inking, the detail is so crazy off the hook. I have to ask, who is one of your biggest influences?
Well, I'm pretty sure you know who it is.
I mean, it would have to be. Oh my gosh, why am I? Wait a minute. Hold on. My gosh, rest in peace. Why can't I think of his name? Bernie Wrightson. Oh my gosh, I've had several conversations with him. What a gentle, loving, amazing human being. He's so cool. But yeah, this is I would have to imagine he was a big influence.
Huge.
His crazy inking and whatnot.
Yeah. Long story short, when after the Satanic Panic, all my D&D stuff got burned in the 80s. My dad came back with a bunch of old creepy and eerie magazines that he had when he was a kid, threw them down at me. He goes, "Here, read these. You'll get over it real quick." Because my stuff was still smoldering in the backyard. And
wait. So your dad burned all of your Dungeons and Dragons?
Oh, yeah.
But then gave you Eerie and Monster
and
all
48 years old, and I still cannot figure out the logic. So the first issue I opened up, I still have in the closet of Creepy Magazine, where Bernie Wrightson illustrated Edgar Allan Poe's The Black Cat. That's the only surviving issue I have left of I had the entire Creepy and Eerie collection I collected for years and years and years. And long story short, so I wanted to draw because of Dungeons and Dragons, but it was that issue of Creepy that solidified how I want to do it. And it took me many, many years to figure out I will never draw like Bernie Wrightson. I can't steal it, but I can steal his TV out of his house. I don't have to steal the whole house. But yeah, huge influence on me.
Yeah. Amazing. This is a peek at your, I assume your office. And I just threw this in there because I had to gush about, man, that's such a cool Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, there's three more on the corner.
Oh, really? Oh,
that was my Salvador Dali pose.
That's awesome. Love it. I have to ask about this. What in the world?
So that's a 2-day story. So I used to
give me the elevator pitch. What do you own a Spider-Man costume?
Owned.
Okay.
So anyway, long story short, I lived in a bunch of punk rock communes in the 90s. And that was a punk rock commune that was over off of Joy Boulevard in Mount Clemens. We lived next to a crack house. And our whole theory was to be crazier than the crack house people. So we would stage wrestling events at 3:00 in the morning, drunk as hell, in the front yard. And I happened to have a Spider-Man costume made for me for my first ex-wife. And I had that on, and we had a huge wrestling. There's another one where I actually had real swords and helmets, and we just beat the shit out of each other like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Crackheads never messed with us. So, but anyway, my second ex-wife ended up burning that costume because I used to wear it under regular clothes, and I hated her friends, and she used to bring me to her parties, and I would get good and drunk and wait for the most perfect time, and I would jump on the closest piece of furniture next to me, and I would strip down to it and then make a Spider-Man pose, and then I would leave. And she would always meet me at the car.
The crazy thing, I just have to tell you guys at home, the crazy thing, your stories are so crazy, but because I know you, the strange thing is he's not joking. No. This is not embellished.
I still talk to that guy too.
This is real. Oh my gosh.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. So, okay, so I want to talk about the history. I want to gloat over some of your art. I want to hear the story from school into the 90s. I want to hear into Cell Dweller and into how you got to be working in actual published projects for things like Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering. As you start getting into this, I'm going to squeeze out of here really quick just because I need to grab some Sharpies because you need to start signing some cards, yo.
You need to make yourself a drink too there, Jimmy.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Holy cats. Where do you want me to start in the beginning, huh?
Yeah, give us the rundown. How did, for people at home,
I mean, I first started showing my portfolio when I was, first one who saw it was Gary Quapitz when I was 16 years old. I found him in the phone book. He drew Punisher War Journal. He drew Savage Sword of Conan. A little bit of Batman and stuff like that. And he was the first one to see my portfolio and told me I would never make it.
What?
And, well, it's more horrifying than that. But, I mean, I failed from 16 to 26 is when I finally hung it up.
And that was trying to get into comic books.
Yes, I thought I wanted to be a comic book artist.
And you were going to conventions and everything?
Yeah, because, back in the day, that was either that or you sent your photostatic copies in, from Artist Market magazine or book, actually. And then you would just sit around and drink until you got the rejection letter. Or you would stand in line at a but the best was at one of the houses I lived at, we used to I had a stack of rejection letters that was almost as tall as my bed.
You saved them?
No, not even, they're gone now, but we used to have drunken readings of the rejection letters. And the best rejection letter I ever got was from not Caliber Press, Dark Horse Comics. And the guy hated my artwork so bad. And I was 22.
Now, when you say hated, did he send it back and actually say, I hate you and your artwork?
It gets better than that. He got out a piece of letterhead that said Dark Horse Comics. He put it into a typewriter. How do I know that? Because we actually inspected the letters. They were indented. He loaded into a typewriter.
Okay.
And he wrote, Dear Phil, trash, trash, trash. Took it out and signed it with a pen, put it into an envelope, typed out my address with the typewriter, put postage on it, and mailed that thing to me.
Yeah.
And my buddy, who was actually in that wrestling picture, he was a death metal kid, and it was his favorite one to read because he'd go, Dear Phil, trash, trash, trash.
Do you still have it?
No. That was
oh, God, that would be so great to have that, to frame that.
Favorite one I ever had. I failed so bad. I ended up working for Blue Comet Press, and I say working is a loose term. Picked up with every dollar I had and moved to San Diego, thinking I was going to be drawing comic books. And the guy turned out to be a heroin addict. Had me drawing the most horrible porn ever. And yeah, it was miserable. I lost everything. Took a Greyhound bus home. I had $50 to my name. Yeah, it was bad. And ended up becoming a D-list celebrity hairdresser.
I wouldn't say D-list.
I did Fabio's hair. That's about D-list as you get.
D. And Cell Dweller. That's not D. Come on.
No, Cell Dweller's not D-list. That was later on. But like when I first started.
Okay.
Yeah.
But even Fabio's not. Dude, Fabio, in the world of Harlequin romance, dude, that's A-list.
Yeah, but when I was doing his hair, he was promoting his own blow dryer through Conair.
What's wrong with that?
He didn't have any other work to do.
Oh.
He put his face on a blow dryer.
Yeah, but what about all the book covers?
Oh, this was after it.
Stopped?
This was 2000, early 2000s.
I don't know. I thought maybe he was still on the cover of Harlequin romance.
Super cool cat though.
Okay, so then
I failed absolutely miserably the first time around. And that was because one, I had no schooling. I wasn't allowed to go to art school.
Mhm.
I had to go to a traditional 4-year university,
Mhm.
which I got thrown out of 2 years into it. I was there spring, summer, fall. I basically lived there.
Now, when you say thrown out, I feel like there's a story here.
There's
Is
several.
it worth? Oh boy.
But this is how it ended up.
Okay.
There was a friend of mine. His name was Death, and Death never. He claimed he lived on campus, but he didn't really have. He didn't have a dorm. He just slept in other people's dorms.
Mhm.
And one night, Death had an idea. He claimed we could stop the elevator in between floors by several of us opening the doors at the same time. Right.
Now, when Death, I don't know what. Hold on. When Death tells me that you can just open elevator doors and that you can, I feel like
Oh, you know what's even funnier?
It sounds like a precautionary tale.
I lived on
Death told me.
I lived
could
on the
open
9th
door.
story, and it went boy, girl, boy, girl. It was like all staggered. So I had a Spider-Man costume. Death hung me out the 9th story window by my ankles to bang on the girl's window underneath me on the 8th story window in my Spider-Man costume. And this girl opens the shades, and there's this 80-pound white boy with a cigarette in my mouth go, "Hey, you got a light?" She screamed like a banshee, and Death was laughing so hard I felt one of his hands let go of my ankle, and I'm 9 stories up. And all I remember him saying was, "Quit wiggling."
dude, have you ever shared or traded Spider-Man costume stories with Eric Steele?
I was just about to say,
Because
man,
he has one as well that involves scaling, entering someone else's apartment.
Really? Yeah, there's something about
women screaming and police.
Yes. When you put that costume on, anything is possible. And it's always the worst.
It's always the worst possible.
So Death had this idea with the elevator. So we rounded up the boys on the 9th floor. And I was the skinniest out of everybody. So they said, "All right, Phil, we're going to get between 8th floor and 9th floor. We're going to pop the doors open. You have to climb up where the 9th floor is through the door. We're going to keep it open and hope to God it doesn't go down and cut you in half." So I scrambled up through that little walkway area.
Just like a good little Spider-Man.
Yep. And then I had to run down the stairs to the 8th floor where it was exposed, the elevator shaft. And my roommate Ken was waiting for me down there on the 8th floor. And we both grabbed the couch. And the couch went down the elevator shaft. Let me tell you, 8-story drop with a couch down an elevator shaft, the sound it makes going down all the way down. Elevator was out for the rest of the semester, and somebody squealed, and I got fingered.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, wait. I mean, that could be sexy.
No.
Oh, bad sexy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So we've got Brittany Voigt says, "I can relate so much. I thought I wanted to be a comic book artist too when I was 26, and I went to conventions too. Now I'm practicing storyboards and character illustrations, hoping I get into animation." You know what, though? I would say, Brittany, sometimes, which I think you're going to hear with Phil, sometimes it's not, you can't, if you have a dream, sometimes as soon as you give up, that's when it's shattered for sure. But sometimes it comes back around just because comic books maybe isn't working right now. If it's what you love and what you really want to do, you know what? If you keep at it, there will be a day. And maybe if you're moving into storyboards and character illustrations, maybe that will be your into comic books.
Yes.
But keep the faith, because you know what? As soon as you give up, that's when it goes away for reals. But keep at it, and you know what? It's sometimes it's not as quick as we would like, but sooner or later things are going to happen for you. So you got into being what you call a D-list hairstylist, but you were doing you had a couple shops that you were running.
Yep.
You also were doing hair for Cell Dweller, who, AKA Clayton, AKA
Nice.
Scandroid, AKA Circle of Dust, who is the featured music artist for the Aladdin 3477 movies. I am such a huge fan of him and his hair. So it was really cool. Eventually meeting you, I had seen videos of you with Cell Dweller.
Yeah.
I was a big fan. So eventually you got back into doing art primarily for role-playing games, and it was a really cool, the way you broke in was fascinating, because you kind of did this thing where you were like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about that and how you got discovered and how you went from hanging up the blow dryer.
Yep.
And saying, I'm gonna do what I love. How did that come about? Like, what happened?
So my son got a little bit older, and I'm manic. I have manic moments. And one night, me and some friends and my son were playing D&D one night, and I was having a manic moment. And I said, you know what? This is a lot of fun. You know, be funner. And my son goes, what, Daddy? I go, if we owned a game store. And he goes, what? And I go, we're going to open a game store. And the dude that was sitting across from me with his wife, I go, and you're going to run it. He goes, oh, okay, Phil. And I was like, 2 weeks later, I had secured the property in downtown Utica. And I started building it out. And the dude that was sitting across from me, a friend of mine, Matt, he goes, I didn't think you were going to do this. I'm like, yeah, why not? Because I already owned a salon at the same time. So I'm running the salon and doing a build out of a game store.
Now, when you say game store, so this is like people can play Magic the Gathering,
Dungeons and Dragons,
Pokemon
all tabletop
cards and stuff like that?
Yeah, all tabletop gaming. So yeah, we built this thing out. I had no idea what I was doing. I had a blast doing it. I was like, you know what? We're going to build the community first. And we're just going to keep adding the games that we always had Magic and Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder right off the bat. That was the big three games. Anyway, long story short, I dug out my old drawing table and I said, all right, on the downtime, I'm just going to doodle. And I started like getting back into it because I took some time off because I thought that was it. If I spent 10 years trying to be a comic book artist and failed miserably. And, so I'm like, just going to doodle and this and that. And then I started like getting back into gaming and seeing that artwork again that got me going the first time when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So I had another manic moment with my son. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? He goes, what? I go, I'm going to teach myself how to draw digitally. And I'm going to draw like Riot games in 6 months. And my son looks at me and goes, no, you're not.
Challenge accepted.
So I got one of those hokey little plastic Wacom tablets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
And I sat there like this anytime I could when I was home, trying to teach myself how to digitally draw, and then doing the YouTube videos and stuff like that.
So if I can just put something up there. So like, this is just an example of your incredible work. What is this one for, by the way, this one that we're looking at here?
So that's for Fortress Figures. That's actually a kind of funny story how I got that job.
Fortress Figures?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
we don't need to go. I don't want to. Let's stay with the story because but I just want to show, just to put an image. So just assuming this is drawn digitally.
Yeah.
Because this is like precision inking. This is so exquisite.
Well,
this is amazing.
One of the rules I gave myself when I taught myself, because I was watching videos of other people doing digital drawings.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that doesn't look traditional. I was trained traditionally.
Yeah.
Self-taught, trained, whatever. I had a pen in my hand.
Yeah.
I said, if I'm going to do it, I want it to make it look like I drew it on paper. And so I got into like how to get the pen tools and all that kind of stuff that you would get into the program. So anyway, long story short, about 6 months went by and I told my son, I said, all right, I'm going to do something funny. He goes, what? I go, I'm going to submit this to role-playing game companies looking for feedback of how bad I am. And he was laughing. So I made this BS resume because I hadn't submitted in 15 years.
Yeah.
So I went on Facebook and just started finding role-playing game companies and submitting through Messenger. And
but this is just whack. Like, look at the details in these mummies. This might be. There's this one, and there's another one that we're gonna see soon.
Well, I'll tell you a
This
story
might
about
be.
that one.
This might be my favorite.
It's
Like,
insane.
it's so good. The wrap that's dripping. These mummies have the drip.
That's Bernie Wrightson's TV. I didn't steal his house. I took his TV.
That is crazy. That is so
some of the
so
best,
wild.
probably the best mummies I've seen.
And these, like these, also so good, so wild. Okay, so I'm sorry I interrupted.
So I made a resume, and the resume was basically, it was just dumb. It was like I was applying at, I don't know, Burger King or something, right? And I always put a 5-year goal. So I put my 5-year goal. I said to get at least one thing published so my kid thinks I'm cool. The next day I had a job offer from N-World Publishing, one of the largest online publishing for newsletters and updates for all role-playing games.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're hired. How would you like to do a couple illustrations a month to start for our articles? I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
So my son's like just dancing around. He was still young.
Aww.
And so, yeah, for, I want to say several years, I was just doing these while I was doing hair and running the game store and everything. I was just doing these little quarter pages in color. And then one day I closed the game store. I sold it because I couldn't do both businesses. But the articles that I was drawing for were kind of like my escape.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I get to be a kid for, a couple hours when I'm doodling around.
Sure.
And then one day I have lupus, and the lupus got really bad with my hands are all messed up.
Yeah.
Right? I can't be around the chemicals or anything like that. My hair's all falling out and weird. It looks all goofy. Nobody wants to get their hair done by a guy with shit falling out like the mange, right? So I was sitting on the porch with my wife and my son, and I said, look, I can't do hair anymore. And my wife was like, you need to draw pictures. And I go, I have one client that pays probably $120 a month for 2 little pictures. I don't know how to do that. She goes, no, you have to go for it. I said, all right. So I quit. I put an email out to all my clients. I said, as of tomorrow, I'm done doing hair. Bye. I'm going to draw little pictures. I had $6,000 to my name. That's it. Closed my business. And next thing you know, I'm sitting at home. I said, I have enough for bills for maybe 3-4 months. My son is going to Michigan State University. I have to make this happen within 6 months, or I'm going to be ended up working at Amazon. So I went, this is probably the worst way to do it, but I went on Facebook and found every small role-playing game company I could possibly find. And if I wasn't submitting, I was putting together a portfolio of, I decided I want to do Dungeons and Dragons art. That's what I want to do. I want to do illustrations, and there's a million small publishers out there. And that's what I want to do it for. And so if I wasn't submitting, I was trying to get better and better and better. And then finally I got a larger tablet where I could actually draw on a screen, and the jobs kept coming as I'm submitting. And next thing you know, I'm working for 12 companies within 3-4 months. I'm paying the bills within 3-4 months, but I'm also working 12 hours a day. I start at 6 in the morning. I still do. I start at 6 in the morning until 6 at night.
Yeah.
7 days a week.
But you're doing what you love.
Oh,
So
dude,
it's
I walk
almost like
across
it's
the
not work.
hallway. I've been waiting 28 years for this day. So anytime I have a bad day, I'm like,
Yeah.
what are you bitching about? You've been waiting 28 years for this shit, you
Yeah.
idiot. You draw pictures for a living and get paid very well for it.
And for dude, it doesn't get any bigger than.
Hold on, that's where I'm getting to.
Oh, sorry.
So this goes on for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working for 12 so I have to now do 6 illustrations a day to keep up with the workload.
Mm-hmm.
Am I getting paid a lot for it? No, but when you stack them like that, 5 to 6 a day,
Yeah.
you're making bills.
Yeah.
All of a sudden my kid goes to Michigan State University, and I'm like, oh fuck, I got to pay for that. And I had a deal with him. I said, if you keep a 3.5 or above, I'm going to pay for your schooling.
Darn it.
Now this is the first 6 months. The best thing I ever did was I spent $20 on a website, philstoneillustrations.com.
Yeah.
$20.
Yeah.
I have my online portfolio, so now I don't
And
have
is that so people can still go there?
Oh yeah, it's got a
What is
whole
it?
online.
It's philstoneart.com?
No, philstoneillustrations.com.
philstoneillustrations.com. Let me just interrupt you for a second because I want to go through some of these images as you're telling your story. This is probably arguably my favorite. What is this creature that's with the mouth and the teeth and the
So that's the other story I was going to get into with that's the miniature company, Fortress Figures.
dude, this is the most amazing, like, wow, if there was an image that just like you, dude,
do you know what the inspiration was?
How much more could you open a mouth or teeth or a chest and just be like, wow, with the tongue? Like, dude, that is like,
well, you know what
there's
that is, right?
more rage than I could. Me?
No,
I don't know who is it.
Look at the pose.
He-Man?
King Kong. Remember when King Kong was tied up? So if you want to see rage, when King Kong was presented to those people at the sideshow, he was tied up like that, and he just went off. That's how I pictured that guy who was just summoned on that wall. That's King Kong.
Crazy. Okay, I'm sorry.
So, so anyway, my son goes off to school. So I started going to school too at the same time. I never took an art class until I was 45 years old. Wow. You were my third art class.
Yeah.
And so
the pandemic happened in the middle of our class. Yeah.
So long story short, it was right after your class. So this was about 6 months in.
No, it was during my class. So let me interject because this was an incredible story for me. So I had met you a couple times before you were in my class. I was very excited. Thank you for because you have cards to sign.
No, you're fine.
So I had met you, and there we go. You were already really, really good, and I had you for pre-viz, and we were talking about, at the end of the semester, there's a big project, and you had kind of heard about it, and you were asking me about different things you could do. And I said, what's your dream? What if you, like, your work is really good. I feel like, we could put together a portfolio. We could make your end of semester project be about you finding the company that you want, attacking it. Let's go for it. And maybe on the last day of the semester, you complete like a package that you're going to put together and hit that company and make your dreams come true, right? Yep. So the pandemic happened kind of in the middle, but we were about to get to the point where we were kind of discuss and brainstorm what the final project was. And before we could even do it, you had to kind of pull me aside and say, hey, by the way, I've got good news and bad news. The bad news is that final project isn't really going to work because I just found out I'm doing official art for Wizards of the Coast, Dungeons and Dragons. And I was like, oh my gosh, what? So I was it was a bummer for me because I wanted to be the one that, like, when you could tell people that, or when people are like, hey, do you know Phil Stone, artist, Dungeons and Dragons? I selfishly wanted to be the one where, the reason he's working for Dungeons and Dragons is because I helped him put together this package that got him the deal. If it wasn't for my class, Phil wouldn't be working for Dungeons and Dragons. And before we could even do the project, so tell the story now how that happened, because it's actually a little bit backwards. Like, it happened really unique. What happened?
So I'm a black and white artist, and I had no business. One thing I had to do with myself, I had to be honest with myself. I'm a black and white artist, and do I fit in some areas? No. And the only reason I don't do a lot of color is because I don't feel like my black and white work is where it needs to be.
You mean your color work?
No, my black and white is not where it needs to be.
Really?
No. If I showed you something from 4 years ago and then now, there's a lot that needs to be done. I like to do one thing, I like to do it well, and then move on.
Okay, maybe, but let me just say here real quick, dude, you are rocking the Dutch angle. You are rocking.
Well, that's I learned that. I learned that from watching you.
I learned it from you, Dad. Look at this awesome foreground, middle ground, background.
Yeah,
amazing. And I was just in Rome. Is that the Colosseum or is
no?
that
I actually
Colosseum
had to do I just finished an entire book, role-playing game book for this company, centered around the Tower of Babel.
Oh.
That's the Tower of Babel. Do you know how many goddamn windows are in the Tower of Babel? I was so sick
more
of
than I would
you had
want
to
to
draw
draw
every goddamn window.
Well, you also
Ain't
drew
nobody
every
looking at 'em?
brick in these stairs. Like what? It's wild.
So what happened was, and it's funny when I get to sit around with the other artists from Magic, there's always this debate about, do you do the shit work or not? And I try to tell my story, but it's kind of embarrassing in front of these guys I sit with at these shows. And I'm like, I still do the shit work. So I got discovered by WotC, Wizards of the Coast, off of a $25 interior drawing for Kobold Press. A $25 shit little drawing
that they saw.
and
loved.
And I got 23 cards for Magic the Gathering crossover with D&D without applying. I never applied. They found me off of a $25 drawing. Because when the art director got a hold of me, I had a nervous breakdown 2 days before. And because my son going to school, I got to pay for Michigan State. How many little drawings is that going to take? And the insurance and the house and this and every it just builds on you when you are stuck in your head all day for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I didn't even have a studio. I was in my kitchen. I put up a hutch in the kitchen, my computer. So I'd wake up at 6 a.m. I'd get coffee, walk 5 feet over to the hutch, and I would sit down in front of the thing until 6 o'clock at night. Until it was done. And you're in your head the whole time. So I had a complete breakdown and I'm like, I don't know how this is going to happen. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do 10 drawings a day and this and that. And then I wake up, get my coffee, 6 o'clock in the morning, walk over, check my email. First thing I do. And there is a job offer from Wizards of the Coast through my website.
Yeah.
And I stopped everything and I wrote back, who the fuck is this? I thought it was a joke.
Oh my.
So it writes me back. He goes, no, this is Tom so-and-so from Wizards of the Coast. I'm like, you put numbers in this original. I could have been anybody. So my whole theory is they looked at the wrong picture in the wrong book and thought it was me because the publisher, you know what?
That is such a, so here's the wisdom in that for those of you watching at home. And we're going to get into how to break into publishing stuff, but real quick, just to read between the lines, you were putting your all, even though you were only getting for the small company, $25 in illustration. You still, because it had your name on it, you were giving your all. And because of that, the whole rigmarole of, oh my gosh, what am I going to send to Wizards of the Coast? And I have to put something together in a resume and this and that. You got to bypass all of that.
Yeah.
But that's how powerful it is. And that's something I try to share with students. I have a similar lesson, which tonight is all about you. I don't want to get into it, into that story, but I have a similar story where I had an epic fail with a project. It was actually it was actually a game card company that I had an epic fail with because I wasn't getting paid a lot. And I didn't think a lot of people were going to see it. I didn't think it was going to see the light of day. And so I did a really bad job. And then it came out and it became huge. And this awful artwork that I did that says art by Matt Bush at the bottom came out, and I have to, for the rest of my life, I have to live with that.
Oh man, is that your 5 ring story?
Yeah. But so anyway, it's just
I work with your old art director.
Really?
Brian Weckowitz.
Oh my gosh.
He's my best friend on the road.
Aw. Tell him I'm sorry.
He just did a Whatnot show today and was talking about 5 rings.
Oh my God. Tell him I'm so sorry for
the crap. Doomtown or something.
The crap art that I did for that.
Matt, do you still have those cards?
I do.
I was gonna say you need to sign
do you
those
and
put those up.
Mine probably aren't worth much, but maybe they are. I don't know. Anyway, so anyway, just for those of you at home, that's how awesome it can be. You never know, even if you're not making a lot of money, put your all into it, make each piece like it's going to be the last one you ever do, or like the world is going to see it, even if the world doesn't, because you just never know.
Well,
so
here's the thing. I have to see it.
Yeah.
And I have to go to bed at night.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting 28 years to do this.
Yeah.
And this has been my passion since like 9-10 years old. And you're going to have bad days, and you're never the same person, every day of the week. And but as long as you get up and you do it, and you put everything into it that you have, and don't fudge it.
It's wild. Just the contrast is amazing. What you're able to do with straight up black and white, the line quality, the connecting edges.
Oh, I'm the tangent king.
The areas of
I have to erase so much.
The areas of absolute black, absolute white.
Yeah.
The ability to put in all the detail where you need, but then also where to let go. Because if it's too much detail everywhere, then no one can see anything, because it's just like, spaghetti everywhere. But like knowing where to put it and where to let it go.
In your class with the rule of thirds.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody looking down here in the corner. Where's your action at? It's right here.
That's good. That's good. Dude, it's phenomenal work. And it's just so cool. Your story to the road to success is just so phenomenal, because man, you have lived such an adventurous life. And this is just, it's fantastic work. And it's so amazing.
That was my first card.
That is what for Watsy.
So the funny story about that is I get the troll, and I got something else too, but the troll was the first one I worked on, and I was completely new. All I was working with was quarter pages and half pages.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me the aspect ratio, and it was basically 1080 by, it was, it's like a TV screen.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how are they going to put a whole troll in that little box? So I drew 4 trolls from the waist up, and they're like, Phil, these are really cool, but can you put some legs on the trolls? And I was like, well, how are you going to put those legs in that goddamn box? So I put legs on all the trolls,
and then they did it that way anyway. Oh my gosh. So
that's why the
funny.
legs look like that.
It's amazing.
Ooh, Displacer Beast. That was in the movie.
Yeah, he's a movie star, that little guy. You know what that face was?
The movie, the one that just came out?
Yeah. And
that was a great movie.
And
did you like it?
And the gelatinous cube, I did.
Yeah. Did you like the movie?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I had so much fun with that movie.
Dude, that was fantastic. I
so
love the
look
movie.
at the face of the Displacer Beast.
Yeah.
Does that look familiar?
I don't know.
It's Black Cat Firecrackers.
Oh my gosh. It is. It is. Hey, Joe Pelazzolo says that artwork is great and your story is awesome.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. And it's so cool. It's such amazing black and white art. It is. It's phenomenal. It's
one
so
thing
cool.
about black and white art is you can't hide your mistakes.
Yeah.
They're kind of glaring.
Everything is there. Oh, what movie? We were talking about the Dungeons and Dragons movie with Chris Pine that came out recently. Fantastic.
So much fun.
That movie is great for people that play and love Dungeons and Dragons.
And
it's
don't even
also
play.
good for people that don't play. It's just an all-around great fun movie.
I went in there with no expectations.
Right.
I left and like, wow,
that's how you do it.
Yeah. Amazing. Real quick, I want to take a sidestep to everything that's going on with ALADDIN 3477. So, of course, those of you that back the Kickstarter, everything is through BackerKit. There's a survey. Still, there are swag boxes going out. I actually have, there are people that are continuing to turn in. So some people are late getting stuff because you didn't fill out the survey. So I actually have about, I think there's another 8 going out tomorrow. So that's continuing. I appreciate everyone that's been sharing images or unboxings of all their Aladdin swag that they've been getting. Please keep that up. I've been noticing, for those of you putting together the minifigs, have you seen these cute little guys? I've noticed that some of you
I was
have
playing with
been,
them while you're upstairs.
some of you have been it's clear some of you don't know how to put together the armor on the Hong Kong Trooper minifig. So there's a video, look for it. It'll tell you how to do exactly that.
Just snaps on.
And then a lot of people, I've been seeing the box openings, and people get the pen and they're like, oh, a pen, and that's it. But but there's a funny thing with this. So this pen's supposed to light up. So did you see when I unboxed this, what happened with this pen?
I just saw the picture of it.
Let me recreate what happened with this. So the very first pen I opened up and I said, check this out. This pen, when you open it up, it lights up like this. And I said, it didn't light up. So James said, well, here, let me try it. So James took it, and I was like, how did you do that? He said, I don't know. So I said, well, and it doesn't work.
Right.
I'm like,
the hell did you do?
What did you do? And he said, well, here, let me try again. Dude, how did you do that? And James said, I don't know. I just snapped it. And so I said, all right, well, and I can't get it to turn on.
It took us longer than we're willing to admit.
This went back and forth for 45 minutes until we realized every other time it lights up.
That's funny.
Maybe
but
so
that's
you don't
great.
want the light, you know?
Right, because sometimes you don't want the light. Like
Right.
if there's no one there to impress,
You're just writing your
then,
bills
dude,
out.
you don't need to waste the battery for yourself. You just want it on when other people
That's
can
funny.
see it. But this went back and forth for like 45 minutes until we finally realized. Oh my gosh,
Yeah, check this
so
out.
funny.
So
what is it? It's like a
these are
credit card.
These are art print cards
What?
that already have Phil's signature.
Okay, no,
on
here,
them.
let me tell you the story about that funny ass signature. I still don't. There's no handbook when you work for Watsy.
Wow.
There's none, right? I've never talked to anybody in the last 5 years on the phone. I've never talked to any publisher. I still work for over 20 some publishers by now. Right?
Yeah.
I've never talked to anybody on the phone. It's all done through email or messenger, no matter who I work with the role-playing game companies. There's no handbook with Watsy. So I'll get random emails from random people that I don't know, but it's got Wizards of the Coast as far as at wizards.com, for their email. One day somebody goes, we need a transparent PNG of your signature. Now in my head, it's for corporate issues, and they're just going to rubber stamp my shit on forms, right? And it's just going to make it easier.
Yeah.
So if you look at the signature on the back compared to the one on the front, that they rubber stamped, that's my checkbook signature.
Dude, it's beautiful though.
So I had to kind of mimic it a little bit when I found out that they don't tell you when these are coming out.
Yeah, they don't.
Oh my
They
God.
don't. And then my son was like, hey, Jake, I was like, I don't know what that is. They're like, but it's got your signature. I'm like, I think I sent that in 2 years ago.
That's
I
amazing.
don't
It's beautiful. Dude, it's your signature in gold. Like,
Right.
That's amazing.
So when those dropped, Phil had probably no idea that
No.
was even happening.
Here's the other thing. Let's go to the Beatles and Grimm drop with Icing Death, right? My son's on the couch. That was through Beatles and Grimm. There Be Dragons. I got to do these 2 cards for it.
Okay.
My son's sitting there on his phone on the couch. He goes, hey, Daddy. I go, what? He goes, they made your dragon into a pewter life counter. I go, no, they didn't. He goes, bullshit. And he goes, it's on Reddit. And there it is. There's a statue of my dragon in pewter as a life counter that you spin.
Dude, that's the stuff of dreams. That's amazing.
So I hit up Matthew Lillard because he owns Beatles and Grimm. I go, hey.
He does?
Yeah, he's the one who owns Beatles and Grimm.
Wow. Okay.
So I hit him up on Instagram, or who I thought was Matthew Lillard. And I go, hey, thanks for using my dragon for the life counter. That's really flipping cool. I get a message back going, hey, this is the Matthew Lillard fan club. Matthew Lillard doesn't run this one, but we'll pass on the word. Anyway, about 2 days later, I got a message back from Beatles and Grimm saying, we probably should have told you, but yeah, it was really cool. And Matthew Lillard fought for your dragon because there was 20 different dragons in there, and he liked mine the best.
That is amazing.
Did he send you
No, never got one. Nope.
That's insane. That is nuts. But the thing is, I stumbled on these two by mistake. I had no idea those were even a thing because of all the other ones are.
This set went in 10 minutes, was sold out. I think it was 100,000 people in 10 minutes.
Because this became a secret layer.
Yep.
Amazing.
Oh, Matt, look at it. Bask in the glory.
It is
the full set of Phil Stone.
It is glorious for sure.
And then,
So Abdel Adrian is actually a bathroom selfie of me.
That's cool.
And I told you who that is.
all right.
You know who that is. Because I sent it to you and I said, hey, does that look like Alex?
Oh my God.
And you go, hey, did you send it to him? I go, I'm going to do that next.
Alex Bouchel. That
Yep.
is crazy. Oh my God. Zayd.
But I took his hair away.
Dude, you gotta get James some Asian persuasion in there next time you have like some Asian persuasion. You need to get James because James
I like how it's just having like a double sign. It's just like
so cool. Let me get through some Aladdin stuff really quick, and we're gonna get back to all things publishing and Magic the Gathering, all this good stuff. So the pens obviously light up if you have these pens. Oh, and can't wait to show you where I've been placing the Aladdin stickers. Awesome, but I can only show after I use all of them. It's a surprise and super cool. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see. I'm going to be talking about stickers. Oh, in fact, here's the stickers right here. Cannot wait to see that. So yeah, I want to see from everyone at home, where are you putting the fun stickers? So here's the next thing. This is interesting. I've been sharing this a little bit the past 2 weeks, but check this out. Someone on Amazon is selling, come on, tins of the Aladdin 3477 movie poster. They probably swiped the image from IMDb, but look at, they put cool. It almost looks like it's like etched on the sides. So you can get these on Amazon for $9.97, not even $9.99, but $9.97 on Amazon.
I guess that's free publicity for you.
You know, how mad can I be? Now, I'm not making tins, so it's not really competing, even though I own the property.
That's cool as hell.
That's kind of cool, isn't it? So I can't imagine they've made too much money off of these. And if someone really wants an Aladdin 3477 tin, who am I to say no? At least for now, I don't have a problem with this. So if you want a really cool Aladdin 3477 tin, you can buy a
I love how you ordered one.
I wanted to see the quality. I kind of got excited when I opened it. But anyway, those are on Amazon for $10. All right, the shirts are going quick. There are limited sizes in all of the shirts. So jump on those, because once they're gone, they are gone. And you can get all of this fun stuff by going to the backer kit. And as well, you can get the official collector's edition. And for those of you that maybe you've been enjoying kind of going through all the pages, but maybe you don't have time to read it. If you're into audiobooks and you wish you could read it that way, like when you're driving to work, or maybe you can listen to podcasts or something when you're at work, the audiobook version, the full audiobook, is coming out in about 2 weeks. And again, it'll be visual too. It'll be on YouTube, so you can see flipping through the pages, zooming into the part that's being read, and it's a full. Did
you do the audio yourself?
I did. I read the whole thing. I did it all, but I didn't edit it, so it's all like mistakes and all. It's the entire book I did in one reading from cover to cover, and it's 3.5 hours long. But it's
one-shotted it.
I one-shotted it for sure. For
That's awesome.
sure. We've got a comment. Kim Stone, you know you've made it when they copyright infringe you. That's right, Kim. That is. I
It's
guess
past her
that's- I
bedtime.
guess
She
that's
stayed
true.
up for this. Love you,
Yeah,
baby.
woohoo!
That's my wife.
And amazing. And your wife, she is helping now with the business side of everything that you're doing freelance. Correct?
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yes.
Dude, that
we're
is
back
so-
to Team Stone again, and Kim is now writing her own script.
Yeah, you were
Because I've
telling-
said
oh
for
my
years,
gosh.
I'm like, you need to be a damn writer.
Yeah.
And then finally she's like, okay.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna in a little bit. We're gonna talk about some of the things that she has written that
Yes.
you guys have worked on. That you guys have worked on together. So, okay. So, what do I want to talk about next? All right. So I'm going to get back to this. So first, now that you have both me and Phil hanging out, this is actually from a poster we did a signing at a toy store last year, but we are here to share the juice, how to break into publishing as an artist.
This is cover coming soon.
So I thought that was cool because we're
Yeah, yep.
artists, and I thought we would kind of tie in. So
That's
this is
awesome.
going to be kind of open. If you guys have questions or comments, leave us some comments how to break into publishing as an artist, because my gosh, there is so much to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit later about self-publishing, so
Mhm.
that's a whole nother thing.
That's-
But just in general,
That's a masterclass.
getting in front of editors, art directors, and doing this for reels. What advice, dude, right off the bat, what advice do you have breaking into publishing? What are some things people can do?
I have a rule of thumb.
Okay.
If there's not a PPO, it's not a no.
I mean,
I submit until they're finally like, stop contacting us.
All right. I like that.
So I just did a submission. I haven't submitted, I think, about 2.5 years. Thank you. And I did a submission
Because you've been so busy, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, well, the Ennies came out, and when the Ennies come out,
For someone like me, what's an Emmy?
so an Ennie is it's a spoof on the Emmys, but for third-party publishers for role-playing games, and it comes out every year. And
surprised I've been working. That's how I broke in, is back in the day, like role-playing games. I've worked on a ton of, but that it must be a newer thing. That
yeah, I think they're only been doing it for like 10 years or something like that. So anyway, but when the Ennies come out, you get to see a lot of publishers that you wouldn't normally like see on your face, on your social media scrolls or something like that. Because that's how I find people.
Yeah.
Or that's how they find me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I haven't really submitted anything about 2.5 years. So there's a couple of companies. I have a hit list of who I want to work for before I die.
Okay.
That have influenced me as a kid.
Yeah.
And so far I'm halfway through that list.
wow.
And Palladium Books.
Yeah.
I got to
Star
do,
Frontiers, right? Or Star...
no. It was Riffs.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Sambita played. He's Michigan, actually. I
Okay.
got to do a lot of work, and the funny thing about that whole project was he never hired me for anything that I actually do. So every job was a challenge.
Okay.
An example: Kevin Sambita called me up, who owns Palladium Books. I've always wanted to work with them. They did the first Ninja Turtles role-playing game back in the 90s. But Riffs was their biggest thing. So anyway, long story short, he calls me up and he goes, Phil, I know you don't paint, but can you paint? I said, no, Kevin, I'm a black and white guy. Yeah, but we think you'd be a really good painter. I was like, well, okay. Well, if you believe in me and I'm telling you I can't do it, I guess I'm going to paint something. And he goes, I said, what would you like me to paint, Kevin? He goes, we want you to paint the cover. I'm like, oh, really? A cover? So
Is that all?
I go, okay, well, what cover do you want me to paint? Well, it's for this weapons book that we're releasing. Okay, cool. Exotic weapons. What would you like me to paint, Kevin? I want an African savanna. Really? I said, sure. I said, look, I know I can't do it. You think I can? Let's paint an African savanna.
Yeah.
I Bob Ross the shit out of that thing.
You know what though? I gotta say, based on other conversations we've had, and here's the thing though. First of all, your work is incredible, and there are a bunch of videos. If you guys haven't seen them, go to my YouTube channel, scroll back through. We have a bunch of concept art videos that we've done together. You have done some sketchbook challenges with me, like the animal.
Mm-hmm.
What was the little animal critters? What was that called? Fantasy animals.
Yeah, but they were like anthropomorphic.
Yeah,
like little
so
adventure
you did
guys.
like the camel mage or something like that, and I did a little.
There's a squirrel.
Yeah, a little squirrel with armor and stuff. And but there's all of these great videos that you guys can find. There's actually one that isn't out yet that's coming out in a couple weeks that we did for transportation.
Oh, that's right.
No one has seen that one yet. And you did something amazing for transportation. I can't wait. I'll let you watch the video. You did something kind of different than what you would expect people to do for transportation.
Wait, that hasn't come out yet?
That video it hasn't officially dropped.
Wait, was that a sketch movie?
Yeah.
No, that was a concept art.
Yeah, that was
that
was upstairs, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was on the on where we drew on opposite sides of the board. Anyway, that's coming out soon. But there's a slew of videos that I've done with you. But one of the videos we were talking about how you look up reference, and one of the things that I really admire about you is sometimes you get a gig where you have to illustrate something that maybe you don't know anything about. But you said that that's actually, you have to put your head in a mindset, because otherwise you could get burned out real quick and like, that's what I have to draw. Man, I thought I liked drawing, but I guess I don't. But you have this mindset of, whoa, okay, they want me to draw stained glass. I've never had to draw stained glass. Yeah. And oh my gosh, there's vintage vases. Like, what am I going to do? But you kind of see it as, oh, okay, well, all right, let's get to work. And you'll research everything so that there's a little bit of realism, and you kind of turn it into a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
The end result is, dude, look at that. Instead of it being like, I had to draw stained glass, you turn it into this thing where people look at it and say, look at that stained glass. It looks amazing. And look at these, oh my gosh, these vintage vases and artifacts. Like that is part of it, is putting in the time, taking the time to do the research to make it look good. You don't skimp on backgrounds. Like you take the time to make it great, to make it worthy of the Phil Stone signature. And I think that's really a great thing for artists looking to break in, but also artists that are just now breaking in. Dude, you gotta up your game. You are playing with the big boys and girls. You need to continually not get stagnant. You need to up your craft. You're constantly learning. Every piece you do should be, whether it's hired by a company or something for fun, whatever it is, you should be asking yourself, what can I do better this time?
So
that's game?
15 years of hairdressing.
Really?
So what happened was, you own a salon. You can't shake a stick on the street without hitting 15 other salons, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what makes you better? You're all doing the same haircuts. You're doing a bob, you're doing a long hair, you're doing a layered cut, all that kind of good stuff.
When you say doing a bob, is that like a bobber? Oh, a bob.
A bob.
Right. Okay. I thought it was Bob Ross.
Doing a Bob Ross.
Is that what they call it?
So you have to go above and beyond.
Yeah.
So there's 1,000,001 black and white artists out there. And you have to, one has to up their game. Even for a $25. Dude, I did, in the very beginning, there was this guy. He hired me. He couldn't afford my $25 drawings. I said, I don't care. I said, what are you willing to spend? He goes, $5. I said, all right. I said, well, how many $5 drawings do you want? He goes, I want 400.
What?
I did 400 $5 drawings for this man.
No way.
I still talk to him today. His name is Mitch. He still hasn't put out the goddamn game.
Oh my gosh.
But I did 400 $5 drawings. for this
Ow.
guy. And I put my all into it because I'm like, he's going to publish it.
Yeah.
And people are going to see this shit. Somebody's going to see it.
Yeah.
And the worst thing you want as a hairdresser is for your client to leave and their family to talk shit to them
Yeah.
about their crappy haircut. So you always have to be on your, like I said, I get up, no matter how I'm feeling, I'm in front of the computer between 6 and 6:30 in the morning, and you just do it. And when I submit, I look at the company first, and I said, could I do this and better when I submit? Like Disney, I'll never submit to.
You'll never submit to Disney?
No. I can't draw like Disney.
There's only one way that Disney takes?
No, I can't. You see how many goddamn little lines I put in my drawings? Can't animate that shit.
But what if, yeah, but what if, okay, Disney owns Guardians of the Galaxy. What if it was a Guardians of the Galaxy book?
Well, it'd be more like a Marvel book at that point.
Right.
You know?
Now, yeah.
All right. All right.
But I have a thing. It's like I do fantasy, role-playing games, and some sci-fi, right? So that's where I kind of stay in that lane.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll look for companies like that. So Fantasy Flight Games, I applied to them the other day. And I'm like, could I do that? I could do it in a black and white version, and I could make it look better than that painting. So I applied and, updated my thing. But I always look at, like, I'm not going to, if I did submit to Disney, I wouldn't, send somebody, I don't know, somebody chopping the head off of somebody in the middle of a dungeon and submit it to Disney. You always submit something that kind of goes along the lines of what they actually do.
Yeah.
So I guess that's to break into publishing like that. That's kind of the way I look at it, is I will research the hell out of them, see what artists have done what. Could I do that or better? Do I fit in here before I submit my stuff? Even if it comes a little bit close, like, oh, I could totally do that, but I would do this. Because when you submit, you kind of have to think like an art director. And if an art director is getting my stuff in and he's looking at it or she's looking at it, and they're like, well, where would I put this person? And you kind of have to have that mentality. Where would I put me? And this is where I want to go, But the weird thing was, I never thought I'd be doing magic cards. That's the most bizarre thing ever. And 23 cards later, and I got more coming up. They just got a hold of me the other day. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take it all day.
Dude, that's amazing. Ted ED says, howdy, and games, you say? Absolutely. We are hanging out with Phil Stone, artist behind some, maybe you've heard some of these games, Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons. And we're talking about how to break into publishing. So much good juice. And, I have to echo, I think one of the things too that I did with my career that helped me is I was submitting to all kinds of companies, but I also submitted to some smaller ones. And when I first broke into doing official Star Wars art, the first thing that I broke into was for a company called West End Games. They did the Star Wars role-playing game back in the day.
Guess who had that book growing up?
Really? Awesome. And they had the Indiana Jones role-playing game and a bunch of others. But that was my thing. And at first, they didn't pay a lot, but they were super professional. And the first gig that I got, actually what happened is after I submitted, they said, we've got official Star Wars artists and stuff. They said, but we like your stuff. Maybe we'll give you a call. The very next day, they said, listen, one of our artists screwed us over. We need 5 illustrations, spot illustrations, black and white. We need them tomorrow.
Yep.
Can you hook us up? Because we're already late. This artist screwed us over. I said, you got it. So I stayed up all night. I did the best I could with those 5. And it seemed like they liked them. So for the next book, I got contacted again. This time I got to do 7 One of them was a half-page
Right? And
illustration.
you get a half pager and you're like,
Yeah.
what?
And eventually, it's still black and white at this point.
Yeah.
And eventually, it was like a full-page illustration. What? You know? And then eventually, I got to do a cover, you know, which was great in full color. And then they talked to people that worked at Bantam Books. And the next thing I knew, I was doing Star Wars book covers for novels that became New York Times bestsellers. And like, man, it was off the hook. But again, it was starting off kind of small and doing the best job that I could, always, you know, turning stuff in on time, because you never know who they're going to be talking to in the industry. Man, we lost our artist. Do you know anyone? Hey, try this Matt Bush kid out. He's really good. He's always on time. He's not weird when you have changes. A lot of artists, they'll do work, and then as soon as it's, hey, can we do this thing where you make this a little bit? Can you make the arm a little bit longer? Can you do a little more detail in the background? And artists get weird, like they have this sense of, I already finished it. Now they want me to do it. You know what I mean?
I know.
You can't do that. You got to be, you know what? If you want to play with the big boys and girls, the client is always right. Doesn't matter what you want. You have to give them what they want.
Yep.
And sometimes it means you gotta, oh man, I thought I was done with this one. I gotta go back and do more.
They get offended. Like, you had the audacity to ask me to,
you know, we get weird about stuff, and we also take it personal. It's also our time, and we realize this is how much I'm getting paid. Now I'm doing more work, so it's more work for not more money or whatever. But if you want to continue to work and get recommended, you never know who they know or who they're going to talk to that's going to lead to something amazing. So it's really good juice to do that. Nifty noodles, I would say, absolutely. All right, real quick, I want to take another sidestep. So last week we did an unboxing of the new, this is coming in the new swag box. It is a Fiji vinyl UV waterproof sticker. James, have you seen these yet?
What?
Look at these UV. So you can put it on a car. It's weatherproof. Isn't that beautiful? And when you peel it away, it looks like this. Isn't that beautiful?
How cool is that?
And what happened was I had a number of people, because I had Aladdin 3477 bumper stickers, but it was the older logo. So they were nice, but it was just a black background, just like a rectangle. And I had a number of people saying, you know what? You need that, but you need just Fiji on there. Nothing else, nothing crazy, just something from afar where people can read what it is. It's got the gin symbol on there. People can read what it is, but they also can say, what's that robot? It's like Aladdin, but I need to know more about that. It's not, like 20 of these. It's not too complicated. I'll hook you up, James.
I have people who would rock this on their car.
So so this is coming out in the next swag box. This is one of the 8 items. Plus, if you're part of the Sky Sail Sky Club, there's more coming in your swag box. And if you're in Aladdin's Inner Circle, there's more that you are going to be getting. So these are, it's not like next week, but the swag box number 2 is getting assembled. And in fact, I wanted to chat about one of the next items that's in the next swag box. And we talked about this a little bit 2 weeks ago. One of the items that's going to be in the next swag box is an Aladdin 3477 bandana.
How cool is that?
Ooh. I think it is cool. Now, some people might be like, a bandana? Like, what? Does anyone in the movie even wear a bandana? The answer is yes, because one of the bounty hunters that James plays actually does have a bandana around the neck.
I had to wear 2 of those because the helmet wouldn't fit.
It's kind of to cover the neck a little bit, so you can't.
Or you tie it around your leg and go to a Bon Jovi concert.
Yeah. Ted says BRB, awesome, cool. See you when you get back. So now designing a bandana, there's different commonalities to the way bandanas look. Now the art of a bandana though is complicated because there's a lot of different ways that people either use bandanas or wear bandanas. So you want to have it where if someone's got it like that, like the Bret Michaels, it's got to look cool on the forehead. Also, sometimes people use a bandana like a kerchief, like or sometimes their dog is wearing it, right? Where it hangs down like that. The problem is, and sometimes people have it like a do-rag going like that.
Mhm.
The problem is there's an art to it, to making it look cool, but also sometimes it works one way, but not the other. So for example, if you can make a do-rag like this or a bandana like this, where this looks really cool opened up,
Right.
but then if you were to fold this and wear it on your head, you would have teeth upside down going like at a diagonal. Or if you do it the other way, maybe now it's right side up, but half the skull is folded up, like missing. You know what I mean? So it gets kind of complicated. One thing you could do is just have a bunch of stuff all over the place, but then it's just a bunch of stuff all over the place, and I feel like it loses like that
Too busy.
that look, right? So there are some creative options. This is kind of neat because when you do the triangle, this, if you have it here, it looks like a skull. The problem with this, though, if you tie it like a bandana, it doesn't really do you any good. Or if you have a do-rag, you have half an upside down skull going back.
Or
like
you could
this.
just fold it so like the teeth are there, so it looks like you got a mouth in your forehead.
Yeah, well, but that's
Yeah,
not
that's
long
true,
enough.
yeah.
That's not long. If you do that part,
You
it's
have to
not
tuck
long
that,
enough to
yeah.
get. It's not long enough to
So
get
I get,
around.
like XL bandanas.
I did think, what up? I did think that this is kind of cool because you could do a 2-color thing. And like, if you want to do the purple, you can do the purple. If you want to do the white, you can do the white. But again, this only works if it's hanging down like this, or if you have it like this. If you have it, first of all, if you tie it like a bandana like this, you're going to either have, I guess you could do the white or the purple, but there's nothing interesting there.
Right.
And if you do it like a do-rag, it would be an upside down skull. So like, you have to find a way. Now, this is a bandana that I made a number of years ago, back when Illustration Nation came out. So I learned a lot from this. There's some cool things. There's some cool things that I did, and there's some not so cool things that I did. So this was for Illustration Nation. So on purpose, I have these going this way, and I have these on the side. So what I solved is, if you have, oh wait, it only works. Okay, so here's the thing. If you fold it like a bandana, and I guess one way that you do it is you do this, and then you do this. So this is kind of cool because if you have it like that, you kind of have the Matt Bush skull, right? So that's kind of cool. Also, if you do it like a do-rag, you have the Matt Bush skull and the girl on top that you can kind of see, right?
Right.
Kind of. Also, you kind of have, depending on which way you fold it, you have the Illustration Nation logo that you might be able to see some of, or you've got the Matt Bush this way, which you can kind of see. Here's the issue. If you were to wear it like a mask, it's upside down now. Or if you have it like a kerchief, it's upside down. Now, one thing I did do is I kept this on here, this image. So this one is going that way. So at least this one is here if you have a mask, or this one is here, kind of like that.
I guess you wouldn't want to rob a bank with that one particular. Like Matt Bush.
If I was wearing it, right? Yeah.
I think we identified him. Really? How?
So here's what's up. So this is 2 weeks ago. I was asking for some advice. One idea that Dave Todd had that was amazing, but I'm not going to do just yet. He had the idea, what if it was kind of a black and gray bandana? What if you had Umi's tiara printed here, so people cosplaying as Umi would have the wrap with the tiara right there? Like, that would be so amazing. But I'm not going to do that just yet. So what I've learned from this, there are a number of people that have purchased these from my website. I'll be honest, I have never seen a single person wearing these. And I think part of it might be a little too Matt Bush, Illustration Nation. It doesn't look like a bandana. I mean, it looks like a bandana, but it doesn't have the style of like the texture, the filigree of a bandana.
Paisley is just so.
Paisley is, but I feel like what I want to create is something that when you look close, it is Aladdin 3477, but I don't want it to be when someone's wearing it, it's just like Aladdin 3477, because no one's going to wear that. You know what I mean?
Do you remember the sketchbook challenge? Fill that like fill the space with all the little different things, and
Yes.
how cool would that be if the whole bandana, if you looked close, it was all like Aladdin type things, and
Yeah.
then, like from far away, it's just like a really
But something that still has a bandana kind of look.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're saying that, James, because I wanted to show you guys what I've put together. This is the new Aladdin 3477 bandana. So hopefully from afar, the idea is you could wear this and it just looks like a cool bandana.
Yeah, let's get. Yeah.
It's only when people get close that they might be like, what is that? What's going on there? That's all. That's kind of
doesn't
neat.
look like paisley.
So let me point out, this might be hard to see on your screens at home. Let me point out what some of this is. So depending on how you fold this, you can probably see the Jinn of Wisdom symbol. You can probably see like Lochan Shyamalan helmets. You can kind of see Fiji over here. When you look around the edges, you're going to see 4 different languages. This is Chinese. It's actually Cantonese. This is Hindi. This is Thai, and this is Khmer, which is what they speak in the Kingdom of Cambodia. Now, the first film is in mostly English, but there are 4 different languages that you hear where there's a little bit of subtitles. These are the 4 languages that are in the film, represented in the film. If you look close, it's kind of hard to see from far away, but these little filigree images, you're going to see Aladdin's blaster, the sky sail, the red star. You're going to see Jinn lamps in there, Umi's tiara. You see the Chinese war swords, more of the Jinn symbol, the Taj Mahal, all kinds of really cool Aladdin 3477 goodness. But I'm kind of proud of this. I want to know what you guys think. It looks pretty rad. I think it, like, again, from far away, this has such a bandana look to it. It's not screaming, look at me, I'm promoting Aladdin 3477, but up close, like if you're a fan, like I think this is cool. I think this is something that people would wear, and I think this would look cool. There's actually a couple ways to fold this, but there are ways where if you are wearing this like this, or this, there's like the big Lochan Shyamalan here, or if you're doing it on the head like that, there's actually Red Star and Fiji that you can see kind of going up that way. But again, only up close would people notice.
Watching Matt in the bed.
Do I look like a pirate? Arr. Have you heard about the new pirate movie that's coming out? It's rated R. All right, so
Let's go to Long John Silver's too.
all right, so here's
Do we
so
even
I have
those anymore? No.
so Joe says I saw Lochan right away. Awesome, really cool.
Are they
So
going to be that size?
yes,
Are they going to be also in black?
I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I have not decided yet. I have questions. So right off the bat, most people wear red. So I was thinking red would be really cool. I do. Welcome to Do Rags and Don't Rags with Matt Bush. That's great. That's good.
I just feel like the Crips will feel left out.
Right.
So here's my question though. I wanted to do something that's kind of Aladdin colors, and red isn't really a prominent color, but I feel like if people are going to, because I want to do something that people are going to wear, and often people are wearing Aladdin colors. Like I would love to do purple and orange. Who's going to wear a purple and orange bandana?
Cam.
Just do purple.
Purple on purple? Or
Yeah,
white on purple?
But could
or
you get a
something?
textured purple?
I mean, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you can get.
Yeah, I was gonna say a textured purple, so it's not so flat.
Heck, you can do like the shirt. Like
So I would do-
But who's going to wear a purple bandana?
Oh, there's a
Cam.
ton of people.
Really?
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh,
Purple's a huge color.
for bandanas?
Well, for accessories.
All right. Well,
I've got card sleeves in purple.
when will
Goes
the
good with
bandana
black
be
boots.
available? Soon, and it'll be coming out in the second swag box. So here's my question. What I was wondering is I was trying to think, okay, so this looks like a bandana because it's white on the red, right?
Mhm.
But I started thinking to make it a little more Aladdin-like, what if instead of white print, what if it was yellow and it looks like this? This is interesting because this is almost more Aladdin. It's exact same thing as this, but in yellow, this almost looks a little more Asian. It almost has a little bit more of a China flair. So like I feel like this is a little more Aladdin, and for people like if they have a cool outfit, like this could be a cool accessory. But maybe this is a little too for a general audience. Is this a little too Asian persuasion? Would people be more likely to wear it if just give me something that looks like a regular bandana? You know what I'm saying? Like something
I
they
think
can.
yellow pops.
I think it pops too. But is this something
Here's the cool
you
thing
would
about the
wear?
yellow too. So you really have to look at it.
Brittany says, I like the yellow more.
I'm on Team Brittany.
Joe says, yeah, that yellow is cool as heck.
Joe wanted to say hell. It's cool as hell. Cool as fuck, Joe. I'll say the words for you.
So
yeah, the yellow's good. Yellow
really
pops,
more
yeah.
than the white?
Mhm.
James, what do you think?
Aesthetically, it's good. I would
Yeah.
not wear it, but aesthetically, it pops.
You wouldn't wear the yellow?
I wouldn't wear a red and yellow bandana.
Would you wear red and white?
Red is just. I mean, look at my aesthetic, man. Like red.
So you're black, white, and red.
Like yeah, I'd say.
I think you'd be a purple and yellow guy.
Maybe I could. I don't know.
I like the red and yellow.
Gosh,
The red and yellow.
it's so tough.
It does. It does. It is more reminiscent of places I would go to get like.
Well, if you go off the
I mean,
color.
I like this better, and of course it's Aladdin, so I'm gonna rock it. I'm gonna represent,
Right.
but I'm just like, as hundreds of people are getting their swag boxes, I want it to be something. Oh, that's cool. You know what? I need a bandana, and like, or I have a pirate party, and so this is perfect. I'm gonna wear this to a pirate party. But if it's yellow, it's not that I don't think people are gonna think it's cool. But are people going to be like, dude, you know what? I'm going to put this on right now. I got to go out and run errands. Now I don't have to. I was going to do my hair, but dude, I'm going to rock it. You know. So I like. Are people going to with it yellow,
Hey,
or are they going to want
cover an
something?
end table? Okay, it's good. I would keep it out. You know?
I like the yellow.
Gosh. The yellow is certainly more Aladdin 3477-ish. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Gosh.
The things that keep you up at night.
Like Laz does the thing where they'll pick a stylish bandana just to keep it hanging out of the back of the pocket. So I mean, people can still do that, I guess, out of prison.
James, you're saying you like the yellow and red better?
It does seem more Aladdin 3477. Yes. Personal preference aside, I do think the red and yellow works better for this. Out of the two options you gave me. If you come up with like 6 more, show me again. And
Rockin' like Dockin'. Tracy Wayne, what do you like better?
Yeah,
What would you be more likely to wear on your head when you're having a bad hair day?
how great is Dawkins?
right?
Would you be
Yeah, Dakin.
would you be more likely to wear traditional bandana white and red?
Bandanas.
White print on a red bandana, or would you wear yellow print on a red bandana? Kim Stone says, I like the yellow, but maybe more goldish yellow. So maybe a little more like marigold,
Yes.
like a kind of a yellowish
Because you're going
orange.
for that golden filigree type of, not filigree,
Gosh,
that golden.
Oh man, how much more would it pop if you used like metallic gold stamping?
Oh.
white and red, says Tracy Surgeoner. Gosh, it's hard to say. I don't know.
Both Asian, because the white and red does remind me more of a.
Oh, that's
sriracha
true.
bottle.
That's true. That's true. I don't know. I feel like maybe I can do one this time and then do another one.
You can put a poll up on Kickstarter.
Wow, took 3 of us for that, huh? To get
Not
there.
only on Kickstarter,
But on Backer Kit,
on
put a poll out.
also on Facebook and
Yep.
Instagram.
Put a poll.
How many options would I do? You know what? The bandanas are more expensive than you would think, and they don't have. You can't just like run. Oh, I want a bunch like this, and then a bunch this color. It's like you get to pick one. You have to do mass quantities, and you have to pick. I've had things local where you can do, but the problem with local is they can't. There's a company I really like working with, and they do the full size bandana, but the print on the inside is only 13 inches by 13 inches. So the problem is this is 22 by 22.
Oh.
So 13 inches by
Yeah,
13 inches, you get a square. Now for t-shirts, that's fine.
Right.
But for, I mean, that would be so tiny in there. Now they came back when I said, that's so tiny. They said, well, think about it. When people tie a bandana, all people really see is this part here. And like, of course that's true, but then there'd be nothing in the back. And like, if people are wearing it like this, part of it is that there's print.
It just looks like it'll just look like a giant napkin with a cool little print on it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to go. It doesn't have to go all the way to the edges, but I feel like 13 by 13 is. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I think shirts that do that are pretty cool.
All right, tomorrow. I'm gonna do
a poll.
I'm gonna do a poll, and we're gonna
get all
figure
democratic on that shit.
You got to fix that bandana. Love it. All right. Well, thank you. Now I know I got to do the poll, and we will. I'm going to put power to the people and see what you guys think.
Yeah, and when people don't like it, say blame the other people who voted for it.
Well, I remember when Mountain Dew gave power to the people and for their naming a new flavor, and it did not go well.
I don't remember that. What they did?
What was the flavor?
Actually, you know what? Well,
Never mind.
They pretty much said Hitler did nothing wrong was the winning.
Shut up! Are you serious? I do not.
Yeah, and that's why they immediately took it down, and they're like, no, we're not giving power to the people. But you give your power to the people, you get cool things like Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah, I remember that one. I remember that. And they were like, yeah, I don't like, we're not going to do that.
Like, no, you have to. You get power. You
yeah, that was a big hoo-ha.
Named it, you would name it, and it's officially named Bodie McBoatface.
Tracy Wayne Surgeoner says that would be a cool beach towel.
Oh yeah, it would be a cool beach towel.
I like it.
I'd use a red
like
and
the
yellow
or the movie post. Gosh, oh
yeah,
yeah,
make a movie poster.
The red and yellow the beach towel. That would be cool.
It would replace my beach towel. That's just a hot dog.
That's right. I want to make ancient copper.
Oh my gosh, ketchup and mustard.
It's hot as this dragon breath out here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to shift. We're going to shift gears really quick. So, a beach towel that would fit the Aladdin theme. I agree. We're going to switch gears back into publishing. We're going to talk about traditional versus self-publishing. So traditional publishing, you write the book and you wait and get offered a publishing contract. If a contract is offered, the publisher will oversee the publishing process from editing, formatting, and designing. They also take care of things like advertising and getting the word out there. Of course, you're not making as much money. Self-publishing, you write the book and initiate the publishing process. This means you will have the book edited, formatted, and designed, and chaos. What does it say? Oh, and choose. Man, whoever put this publishing thing together, they didn't proofread. This says chus, how to publish and market your book. Okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about the difference, the pros and cons between self-publishing and traditional publishing. So, gosh, I have experience in both of this. Phil, what about you? What are your thoughts on the difference between self-publishing and traditional publishing?
I self-publish 3 times a year, if not 4.
Okay.
I guess the con of regular publishing, traditional publishing, is you're going to get a no. And guess what? You don't get published. I guess that'd be the biggest con. Where they just say no.
Yeah.
And then you're spending more time marketing yourself to other publishers. I mean, it depends on what you're doing, really.
Yeah.
I'm a huge I want to say proponent of it's way past my bedtime, by the way.
Do you mind if we go for just another?
No,
another
it's funny
20
because
minutes?
I'm like losing my train of thought. 'Cause I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my-
yeah.
I'm surprised my wife's up right now. I guess the more you're involved with your own project,
Mhm.
the more true you will be to your vision.
Yes.
And that's why I edit. I do my own layout. I do my own writing. My wife does the writing with me, and I do my own art. So start to finish, it's exactly what I want. And if it doesn't turn out that way, I got myself to blame. And although I would love, and I do pitch my ideas to other companies, some have taken them, and then there's always that one thing, and it's like, oh, if that guy wouldn't have done that, it would have done so much better.
Yeah.
But if I would have done it, so I'm a huge advocate was the word I was looking for, of the more involved you are in your own project, the more truer you are to yourself and to what your vision.
Yeah.
And that's why I love self-publishing. Now, you and I are from the same era, so self-publishing was not really a thing in the 80s and 90s.
Very difficult to
It
do
was
that.
expensive
It was
as
almost,
fuck.
it's almost
And-
impossible. Yeah.
except for Kinko's, unless you were doing some
Well, yeah.
crappy zine for Noir Leather. I had one in there.
Noir leather.
It was called Confused Comics when I was in high school.
Really?
I had a zine in Noir Leather,
Oh my gosh.
and they hated it so bad. I called up. I thought all 10 issues sold out. I
I
called
had-
up Noir Leather, and I'm like, "Is it payday?" They're like, "Nobody wants your fucking zine, Phil." We threw them out.
Oh.
I had self-published comic books at Dave's Comics
Yeah.
in Royal Oak.
I love Dave's.
So you're speaking my language because my biggest project to date is Aladdin 3477, which is just a huge, obviously the movie, the toys, everything is through me. This book I am so proud of, and
You should
people
be.
are raving about this, but part of it is because I got to choose every inch of this book, how the sections would be, that there would be this many pages for this and this many pages for this, and how the layouts would work and how much is devoted to this and that. So by comparison, take, for example, the book You Can Draw Star Wars, which I'm very proud of, and it's very cool. It is. But, and it was cool that, it's a big company, DK Publishing. They put out advertisements. There were, they had all kinds of promotional things. Obviously, I got to do the videos and the DVDs and everything for it. But that was kind of a nightmare for me, because when I was brought onto the project, kind of at the beginning, they already had the book organized, and they had things like, okay, we're going to have 2 pages on alien limbs, how to draw alien limbs. And I'm like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Okay. And they said, we're also going to have 2 pages on 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective. And I was like, whoa, hold on. I'm going to teach kids
Perspective
of all ages 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point perspective in 2 pages. They're like, yeah. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts. That was it. And 2 pages on alien limbs, which is like Yoda's ears and like something with tentacles or whatever. My gosh. And then there was like, okay, this page is going to be how to draw the Millennium Falcon in 3 steps. Can we maybe do on 1 page? And I was like, can we maybe do how to draw the Millennium Falcon, like a whole chapter, and maybe it's like 10 pages and like maybe 30 steps? Oh no, 3 steps. You get 3 steps, 1 page. So that was really difficult for me. But when I got to do the videos, the You Can Draw Star Wars videos, I could do whatever I wanted. So there was a lot of feedback where people love the book and the book is cool, but a lot of people have told me, man, the book is kind of hard. Like, it kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense. Your videos are amazing.
Right.
But like, man, that book. But the problem is with big publishing, it was made by professionals, but people that have never drawn in their life or that don't know anything about drawing. All they know is there are other drawing books. Oh, look at in 3 easy steps, how to draw a cowboy riding a horse. We're going to do that too, except with Star Wars. You know what I mean? And there's like, I just wish I had more of an ability to infuse really teaching people how to draw. I didn't really get that opportunity for that book. So And it's tough though, because more people have seen that for a drawing book to become a New York Times bestseller. That's crazy. More people will see that book in my lifetime than will see this. And that's unfortunate. But I am so much more proud of this from cover to cover. This book is amazing.
Oh, it's
and
amazing.
I'm so thrilled with this.
I think that's like being an advocate for your own dream like that. It doesn't matter how many issues were made.
Mhm.
You get to go to sleep knowing you did that.
It's rewarding.
Absolutely.
This blew up at the card shop next door.
Yeah.
Really?
Like they have never seen a collector's edition
Right.
anywhere
Yeah.
near that.
That's what I'm
quality.
saying.
And there's one of the guys there where they're really big into collecting things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they fight over it because
Yeah.
I only gave a buddy one copy.
Yeah.
But all the other people have come to work there since. They're like, let me get a look at that. Let me get a look. He's like, no, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Like, get your own. He's like, well, obviously we can't right now. And it's a whole thing. They love going.
It's flipping
through all
gorgeous.
this stuff.
Thank you.
No, it's gorgeous. That
So that's so you know what? We've got some other dude, walk us through this stack.
Ooh.
Give us the elevator pitch. These are actually mine. So when Phil showed up today, I said, "Oh crap, did you bring any of your books?" And he's like, "You know what? I'm sold out. I actually don't even have
I don't have
any
my books.
of my books." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So I had to go upstairs into my own library and I had to go through a bunch of and are all of these self-published?
Yes, every one of them.
Dude, you have to walk us through this insane. These are just the ones I have of yours.
Did you get his Christmas Carol?
Look at these.
I should have brought the Christmas Carol.
Look at these. I have it. It's probably in
Oh.
a different section of the library.
Yeah, I thought I shipped it to you.
Yeah. But dude, you got to walk us through some of these amazing, crazy spells. You get to choose how the layouts are. You get to choose the it's just off the hook artwork. It's so good. And then and Kim does a lot of the writing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So when I did this project, so there's 8 schools of magic for Dungeons and Dragons 5e.
Mm-hmm.
And the project was, I gave myself the assignment. This was the first one, was the necromancy book. I wanted to illustrate all 8 schools of magic for D&D 5e. Now, the reason I want to do that is because I want to make peripherals and books for D&D that I would want when I was 10 years old. So if I was a spellcaster, I would want my own spell book grimoire. But I wanted them in leather-bound tomes. But to get there, I had to do each school. So I released them book by book by book. The other challenge I gave myself when I first did this was each book was made by a different spellcaster. So it had to be drawn in a different hand. So each book had to have a different style. Even though it was black and white, it had to look different from the next.
Wow.
So that was the other challenge that I gave myself. So, the necromancy book was very minimal, but a little bit grotesque. And it was my first one, my first shot. And it was actually, I made that right after I took my first InDesign class at Macomb.
Nice.
And I'm a huge advocate. I mean, you can look at YouTube videos all you want on a class, but all you're picking up is somebody else's bad habits. You need to get into a class.
So, who was your teacher?
Bill Tite.
Okay.
And yeah, I took Professor Bill's and I went home and I made that.
Wow.
And published it. And that did almost $8,000 on Kickstarter. On my first big Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So then I went, I did four books. Well, I did 3 books a year. So it almost took me 3.5 years to do the entire project. And I finally, after all 8 books, put them in a 2-volume leather-bound set. So it looked like the big tomb spell books that you would see on somebody's dusty, like your library thing you built up there. Like just that cool conservatory library kind of thing.
Conservatory.
That's where I want to see those books.
Yeah.
And I just re-released them. And then, so we went a little bit further. And I'm like, all right, well, if you got magic, you got to have a grimoire for demons.
Oh, yeah.
So I did a 2-volume set with my wife of the demonology of Lear Ghost. So we created this character. My wife, Kim created this character, Lear Ghost. And he is the ultimate necromancer. Well, anyway, these are his. Oh, we got the bookmark too.
Ooh.
So it's all 50 demons from Dungeons and Dragons 5e.
What?
Now, to make this even cooler, every spell in here
Look at this artwork. It's amazing.
is from 12th century writings. So from the Red Grimoire to King Solomon to King James I demonology book, that's where these spells actually came from.
Oh wow.
The sigils the summoning sigils are taken from King Solomon's Goetia with Aleister Crowley, and I just switched them around to fit each demon.
So cool.
So you would make that sigil, and then there's the summoning.
Wow.
The summoning, the summoning spells are actually legit. So I always told people,
Usually Jubilex is in there too.
yeah.
Dude.
So the way I did the layout and everything for that was I wanted like, this is my demonic grimoire. These are the 50 demons that I captured down in hell or on the other planes, and this is how it was presented. So
cool.
So that took me, because the spell books were 800 pages total, and then I think there's 450 pages total between the two demonic grimoires. But every spell is completely legit from history, actually from text, from 12th century texts.
So I saw recently that you completed a Kickstarter that was for all the completed books, right?
But it was the way they were. I wanted to present it the way this project ended, the way I wanted them to be, and it was a four book library, 2 for the demonology and then 2 for the spell books, with the leather and the raised foil lighting. It's just how I would want them. Yeah, they're pretty. But it took all of that self-publishing of small increments to get to the big picture of how I wanted the project to end. And I was really happy with it.
So let me ask you this. Now that that's all wrapped up, do you have plans for...
I have 4 more lined up.
Of self-publishing that you're doing?
Yeah, I try to do 3 to 4 a year. And I've been doing that for the last 5 years.
That's amazing.
All the way down to want to do a little homage to H.P. Lovecraft. So my wife wanted to learn how to do InDesign and editing. So I sat down with her and showed her how to do it. And I said, well, let's do this project together.
Yeah.
Take H.P. Lovecraft's writings that you want.
Yeah.
Curate it, edit it, lay it out. You do it. I'm just going to put a picture to it.
Yeah.
And so Kim made this book. And we did it together.
Did you drop a Kickstarter for this?
Yeah.
That is so romantic that you guys do that together.
I'll tell you what, InDesign by the candlelight, Matt. I'll tell you when you're doing page layouts together,
dude. Couples that publish together.
So then, do you remember Marvin's
publish.
Marvelous Machines? That was over. It was the largest. It's still there.
Yeah.
So when Blaine was little, we got to meet Marvin before he passed away.
Okay.
My son had the best time at Marvin's, right? We love Marvin's.
Yeah.
And the history behind it. I love the video games. So when he passed away, I said, and Kim and I sat down and said, what if Marvin was a traveling merchant of magical items and armor, and he had a catalog and he would drop off at each town? What would it look like? Because Marvin was collecting video games since the 1920s.
Yeah.
So we came up with Marvin's Marvelous Magical Items. And it's like a JCPenney catalog.
Oh my gosh.
So when you see the orc splitter, the dwarves have done it again with this unassuming great axe. Fit for a king, orc splitter makes easy work of detecting and killing the scourge of the rightful. Orcs, giants, and goblins be warned too, for this one good weapon, lawfully orc splitter.
Wow.
So yeah, we set it up like a JCPenney catalog, with actual items from 5th edition and made like a little catalog about it.
That's awesome.
And that was dedicated to Marvin's Marvelous Machines over on the west side.
Wow.
The only other thing that did something like that was the PDF hand guide to Cyberpunk 2020, where you go through and shop for your cybernetic implants, and it's laid out like a Sky Mall.
So Kim wrote all this.
That's so cool.
And then, you know, there's a little message from what Marvin might want to say. So this was your fall catalog where you had your armors, the mechanical armor,
That is so
the ammunition.
fun.
Add an arm lane to your armor and save more on your purchase.
Dude, you must have like with each Kickstarter that you're acquiring more and more fans and people that are collecting everything.
But-
Like, that is so cool.
I have to say, true to like certain rules I have with it.
Mm-hmm.
One, would 10-year-old Phil play with it?
Yeah.
Two, would 48-year-old Phil buy it for 10-year-old Phil? And is it useful and makes the game more immersive? Those are my rules.
Yeah.
And everything has to reflect something else. So like Marvin's, it was the catalog deal. It was like a JCPenney catalog for all that kind of stuff. Beyond the
amazing.
yeah.
Okay.
48-year-old Phil say he bought it for 10-year-old Phil. He himself play with it.
So I have another segue. Are you familiar with Brandon Sanderson?
Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Why? How?
So he's a Magic the Gathering artist.
Well, I'm sorry.
He's not
I'm
a Magic
sorry,
the Gathering
what?
artist. He's a writer.
He's a writer.
Okay.
I'm sorry, he has a Magic the Gathering artist do his artwork for his books.
Okay.
Oh,
There you go.
okay.
So Kim reads him,
Okay.
and follows him immensely.
Okay. So we're talking about Kickstarters. Prolific writer, young guy, he's younger than we are, but he did a Kickstarter last year that started coming out this year. The biggest Kickstarter
Yes,
ever. 41.3 million.
he beat Todd McFarlane.
By a lot.
Right.
By a lot. No one has even come close to that. I mean,
Right.
there's a couple like movies, and I think Todd McFarlane pulled in like 2.5 million or
Yeah.
something like that. There's like a movie or two that have pulled in like 6 million ish or whatever.
Yep.
But 41.3 million, that has yet to be. So one of the things I was interested in, because part of it, he calls it a year of Sanderson, where each month of this year, there's 4 new books.
Yep.
And then on the off months, there are 8 swag boxes. So there's something every month that's coming out to fans. Now, I was building my own Kickstarter for Aladdin, and I was doing swag boxes too. So I was real curious what everything is going to be like. So today, I actually have the very next swag box, and I wanted to open it together so we could see what's inside. Now, keep in mind, this is amazing, and he owns everything, and in a way, he's self-publishing, but
Right.
It's like, I mean, this is someone who can pull in 41.3 million, but it's inspiring. Right. So I thought we would take a peek. I already cut it open. I have not looked inside yet. What does it say? The Cosmere?
Creating our
What's this?
worlds to inspire yours. Cosmere's a character.
Oh, no shit. Look at that.
So this is like dragon stuff. There's always a new quote on the inside, and this one says, "Aim for the sun. That way, if you miss, at least your arrow will fall far away, and the person it kills will likely be someone you don't know." Wit.
Okay.
So there's always this kind of, I don't know if this is like dragon stuffing or whatever. And this card, I don't want to spoil it, but this card tells you what's inside. We just want to find out what is inside. So this is, what is this?
Oh, look at the packaging on this. Each one's wrapped too.
This is, I don't know, it's got a foil thing. Does it say what it is? Well, we're going to find out.
The previous 2 boxes, none of them were individually wrapped like that.
Maybe people were complaining and they were like, dude, I want stuff wrapped.
Right.
Boy, look at this.
Look at that.
Fancy. Is this a portfolio or something? Of cards? Wait, smell. It's nice, right? Like burnt matches camping when you were a kid?
It's leather.
Oh, is it? No. Is it really leather?
Doesn't that smell like a shoe store leather?
I guess it does, yeah.
Like suede. It's suede.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's what when you can pull it. When you pull in 41.3, it better be nice like that.
Wow.
These are postcard, dude. Look at these. These are all from. These must be from his world.
Yeah. Oh, Kim, if she's still up right now, she is probably shitting a brick right now.
It's like those vintage travel posters.
Yes.
Dude, I'm so jealous. I should have done this for Aladdin.
That's true. We don't really know we don't really get like an image of what these locations
Like
look
Kong Chayam and all the different places.
with a sky sail in the background of each
Hold
one on the horizon.
Kim's got to be so jealous right now.
Note to self.
With a sky sail and like somewhere hidden because Magic they're releasing their Doctor Who collaboration, and each of the basic lands.
Yep.
There's a TARDIS located somewhere in the background of these lands.
That's cool. All right, so
There are postcards. Look in the back.
yeah, they're actual postcards. So this goes in here like this.
It's fancy suede leather
It's
smelling.
fancy suede leather. We're gonna keep the smell intact.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, that's suede.
So you give that to Kimmy. What else we got?
Oh, is that a paddle?
Turn around, you. Is it a paddle?
It looks like one, right? Or a hot water bottle?
Wait,
Oh, it's a luggage tag.
tag.
Oh shit! All right.
Oh, this box might be travel themed.
Wow, that's nice, dude. What does that open? Wait, what? What? Why
No,
is
your
it-
tag
oh,
goes
it's
in
just,
here.
Oh, that's just covering how nice it is. Oh wait, does that flip? No, it flips up. Wait, this.
That won't go anywhere. Oh, you know what? No, you pull this off.
Wait, how do you see the tag though? How do you see what's in it? Whose name it is? How do you see
Pull
it?
this out.
So someone would have to pull it out to see.
Maybe.
I guess.
I feel like there should be an easier way to say, like, if two people have the same tag, like something where you can see it easier. Maybe not. I don't know.
Huh. Still cool.
Yep, you just gotta pull it out.
That's what she said.
I mean, it's a unique enough tag. You go to the airport, you're the one with that.
Pulling out has never failed me.
Because
And if there's two of them, you just found a friend.
I mean, where's the lie?
Right.
because this fits. I was going to give this to James, but because I think this fits Kim's aesthetic a little bit more than James, that's another one for Kimmy. Hold on, there might be. Don't get too excited.
Yeah,
Maybe
I've
there's
never
something
needed
else.
a luggage tag.
We got a pin.
Cosmere. I can't read who that is. Again, only one backing though. That's cheap, dude.
What do you mean one back? One.
Chris.
When
Okay,
you-
I'm gonna tell you right now, Phil. With enamel pins,
Yeah.
no matter how small they are, you put two pin backs on your pin.
Oh, because of the weight.
yeah,
yeah.
So the weight
Well, yeah,
and
spin around weird.
yep, and around here.
Look at on the inside. Thank you. I have the best fans in the world. Clearly, 41.3 mil.
Right.
You've proven that you've proven that to me time and time again. You are awesome. You are amazing, and you have incredible taste in books.
Good for him.
Brandon Sanderson,
Mhm.
Team Dragon Seal. Yeah, that's really cool.
So we're going to Salt Lake City for the MTG Summit. And
Okay.
It's a new one.
Ooh.
yeah,
Huh.
one of them is. And Kim's all excited because she's like, I'm going to meet Brandon. I was like, yes, we walking down the street to Walgreens. We'll find him.
Oh, it's like
What's
well,
that?
it's
How
like-
cool. Oh, it's like a Louis Vuitton kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. The whole box is travel themed. Cool.
Yep.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
That's cool as hell.
Was it a shaving kit?
Yeah, what's in there?
A manscaped.
It's got a lawnmower. Oh, there's some shit.
Oh
in there.
my gosh, look at that. Look at this. Dude, there should be an Aladdin 3477 for traveling around the world.
Wait, those are
Look at this clear
constellations.
little.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, what? Oh, this is to eat, right?
That's
Dude,
cool
there's
as
two
hell.
of them too. Look at this mesh in the front, and mesh on the side, and mesh on the side. Dude,
Yeah, Matt,
this is
you're gonna have
really
to-
nice.
You have to look into something like this.
Poor Kim fell asleep. She missed all of this. She is obsessed with him.
James, how bad do you want this?
How bad do you want that?
I have one, so I don't need one.
Okay, I do not. So, well, thanks.
Because this is kind of your aesthetic, right?
I have to read these books. Aren't we?
I got the bag, and I got to read the book.
Yeah. Oh, look, it can fit the. Okay, I will. Okay, thank you. Wow, this actually has.
Yeah, it's got weight to it.
Geez, World Hopper. Is World Hopper the name of the other book? Or?
I don't know. It might be one of the characters, or maybe one of the.
I will say the compass pattern, kind of like in that gloss, that does look generic enough.
That's for.
Oh, dude, you're the best.
She might like the box. I don't know.
Oh yeah, she's gonna like that box.
Oh, and she might like
whatever that is.
the dragon paper, so it doesn't slosh
Right.
around as much, right? Dude, you're the best. Awesome. All right, so we've got some. Oh, there's one more thing since we were talking about DNG Kim Stone. What's DNG?
Dang.
She is up. BMT did the art for the floating city. Awesome. So one thing I wanted to chat about real quick when we were talking about self-publishing, I found this chart that was kind of interesting, and there's like 4 quadrants. There's self-publishing, traditional publishing, digital publishing, and print on demand. I was staring at this for like 5 minutes, and I was kind of like, wow, really interesting how some of this turns from one into another, and there's kind of like pros and cons and like different ways that you can get your material out there. So we don't have enough time to really dive into this too much tonight.
That's a masterclass. I mean,
For those of you watching, screenshot this right now and take a look at this, because these are 4 different ways for you to get your material out there. And there's pros and cons. Print on demand is low cost. It's green technology. It's global. It's available to all. There's no stock holding costs. So that's a win for that. But there's also digital publishing, and there's different pros to that. Obviously, self-publishing we've been talking about. And traditional publishing, you're working with professionals, expert teams. They do all of the distribution. They've got the contacts. They've been doing it for years. So there's pros to that as well. Lots of things to consider. All right. So some things I wanted to chat about real quick. Macomb Community College classes start up in 2 weeks for those of you that are local. And the MACA department, Media and Communication Arts, that's me. Creative imaging and illustration is what I run, but we also have 3D animation, motion design, which is essentially 2D animation. Of course, we've got web, photography, digital video production, design and layout. So again, if you're doing self-publishing, just like Phil here, he learned Adobe InDesign
at Macomb Community College.
At Macomb College. So you could start designing your own books. Check it out, faux show. This is an artist rendering of the new building. And no, this isn't where boats pull up.
I know, it's like, whoa.
For some reason, on a sunny day, they thought a lot of times it looks cool if you wet the cement in movies. It always looks like it just rained because it gives more glare and stuff. But it's just kind of funny that they did it on a sunny day. It looks like this is a moat and like a boat, like transportation.
You gotta Photoshop a gondola in there
for sure, for real, right? So funny. But anyway, the new building is being unveiled this Friday. Cannot wait. And I'll, of course, have some tours, some videos and whatnot. So just the same, even though we're back in the building, we have different modalities, different ways that you can take your classes. Of course, there's taking classes on ground. There's taking online classes, remote classes. One is synchronous, the other is asynchronous. But we also have a number of my classes are going to be hybrid, where half the days are on ground, half the days you're working from the comfort of your own home, watching videos. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. And then last week we had Sean Sarcona here. a lot of his classes are flex classes, which is amazing because you actually have the choice of being home and learning remote, or you can come to class, and there might be certain days you want to come, or maybe certain days that you can't. Whatever it is, you're either learning remotely or in the classroom. It's up to you. That's incredible.
I like
And
that,
Hang out
Sean.
with us.
what's that?
I said I like that, Sean. That
Yeah,
Sean's
yeah.
a nice guy.
It's wild. So I would be down to pull up in a boat. Yeah, Anthony, I know, right? It's pretty wild. So register for classes this fall. Also, there are 2 things for financial aid that are off the hook right now. One is called Michigan Reconnect. The other one is called the Macomb Tuition Advantage, where if you are in a household that makes less, I forget what the exact rules are for each, but if you're in a household that earns less than $75,000 a year, you basically can get your college for free. One of these, you have to be over the age of 25. If you don't, and I think this is if you don't have a degree yet to complete your degree, lots of really, really cool opportunities with that. I've still got some screenings that I am scheduling with just a couple more of my executive producers. There's a really cool video coming soon that is behind the scenes, Aladdin 3477. It's an intro video hosted by Steve Pankatai, who we call Oz. It's a really cool video. It's coming soon. This Tuesday is finally, I know a lot of people have been like, where's your art videos? I want to learn how to draw people and this and that. There's a really cool video that is dropping on Tuesday, finally. So be on the lookout for that. HFR TV. So here's what's up. The Horror Film Roulette this year.
Oh, that's right.
So cool. Right now, 24/7 on the Horror Film Roulette YouTube channel, there is constant videos of the past. This is the 10th anniversary of the Horror Film Roulette. So it is really going to be awesome this year. The grand prize this year for whoever makes the best horror film roulette film, $10,000.
Shut up.
$10,000. Can you believe that? That's
No.
insane, right? It's year 10, $10,000. September 10th is the kickoff. So here's what's up. You can check out previous videos when you go to HFR TV. And in addition to that, this year, so there's a wheel of horror that you spin when you want to make your video. There's a new category this year, and people are voting on what the new category is. Right now, you can go to horrorfilmroulette.com and you can vote. What do you want the new category to be? Do you want it to be body horror or vampire? For me, nothing against vampires, body horror.
Body horror all
It's
day.
gotta be body horror, like, because that's creepy.
Yeah.
You know,
Vampires
The
too,
Thing.
yeah. and all the Japanese horror, like the new school, like The Grudge, and even The Gift. What was it? Was it not The Gift?
Parasite. I mean, come on. There's
Yeah.
so many.
What's the movie? Was it called The Gift? Not The Gift.
No.
No, The Gift has
The Ring. The Ring is what.
The
I'm
Ring,
thinking of. Yeah. Anyway, really, really cool stuff. Go there and vote now.
Katie Holmes was in The Gift, and trust me.
Anthony Fauna says, I want to come watch. You need to come watch. Anthony, you should make one. You would be great at making a horror film roulette movie. And when you go to the kickoff, you can network with people that are actors there, makeup artists. At the kickoff, there's going to be everyone hanging out. You can group together with someone in a group. And if you're in that group that wins 10,000 and there's 5 of you, I mean, that's $2,000 a piece, right? That's pretty cool. I do not have the patience to do video. Do you have the $10,000 patience? I don't know. Anyway, speaking of the horror film roulette,
I clicked on that today.
Chiqui Morero, who was here helping film last week, he's been on as a special guest before. He has this really cool new Kickstarter that just came out yesterday for a short film he's looking to make called Rope, but he needs help to do it. He needs some cash. So go look that up on Kickstarter and help someone make a really, really cool film. I supported it, so you should as well. Brittany says, definitely body horror. Vampire seems kind of cheesy. You know, nothing against vampires. Vampires of
You can put it in any category.
Yeah, and I feel I've never been into for
played
that
out.
reason. It is.
Yeah.
It's kind of always been played out to me, and I've just always. It's never.
What We Do in the Shadows
Oh, I loved it.
Yes.
has
love
put a
it.
beautiful spin on vampirism.
Yes.
But other than that, it's been played out.
Yeah.
Body
I
horror
would
all the
agree.
way.
I would agree.
Bloodlines, The Masquerade definitely did that.
Can you post a link? Yes, to horror film. Let's see, www.horrorfilmroulette.com. And so when you click there, that'll take you to the website. That's where you can vote for which category you want to be the new category this year. Every year they're going to do a new category that you can vote on. In addition to, they've got monster and zombie and is it suspense? Supernatural, thriller. So there's going to be a new one each year, which I think is super, super cool. Let's see what else we got here. Anthony Lafata says, watch the show The Strange. You'll change your mind on vampires. Interesting. But definitely check out horrorfilmroulette.com. What, you watched it? You don't like it?
Yeah.
Oh, you watched it? You
No,
don't like it?
It's
I did not.
No, it's a good show, but it did not change my opinion.
Oh, okay.
It's shot well though.
Anyway, the live stream lounge is now an official podcast on YouTube. What does it mean? I don't know. You guys that follow podcasts will have to tell me what it means. For those of you that, if you listen to podcasts when you're at work or when you're on your way to work, check us out. You can check out all of the previous episodes, as this is now an official podcast. Oh, Brittany Voigt, I supported Cheeky's Kickstarter. We used to be classmates at MCC. That's right. That is so awesome. That is so cool that you did that, Brittany. Thank you so much.
You're a good egg, Brittany.
Ted ED says, woot, woot. You're a good egg faux show. All right. Ted ED says, vampires leave a bad taste in my mouth. Like, blah. Like when you bite, like when you, okay. Anyway, we'll be back next week again, Sunday nights at 9. That's what we do. That's how we roll. That is it for the live stream lounge. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Phil, for hanging out. It has been super, super cool. You are, you're the best. I want to have you on again soon. There's so much to chat about with everything cool that you do, that you've been a part of and beyond. And oh my gosh, all the new projects that you've got like coming out soon. Like definitely we need to have you in the rotation once every couple months to follow up on what the latest is. Like next time you have a Kickstarter running.
What's that crazy manic guy doing now?
Dude,
Thanks for being so cool, man, for signing that stuff.
Thank you.
One of the dreams realized.
Dude, that is awesome. All right, guys, I will see you next week. What up? Woo! I know. It didn't. Come on. We're almost gone. Are we gone? Are we gone? Are we still not gone? Oh.